Welcome to VHS Sisters, a nostalgic movie podcast with two actual real-life sisters. Get into some jammies, grab your favorite beverage, and come hang out with us as I force my little sister to watch all of the movies that she missed growing up. There we go. I just got done saying I'm not going to do an Australian accent this whole time, but it's going to slip in there. It's going to slip in.
That's fine. Do it.
I guess my main question is, before we start, would you ever go to Australia?
I totally would. It seems like quite a far plane ride, which is just like for a place that's basically Florida on steroids.
Wow, we are not going to have very many Aussie fans for this pod.
I love the Australians. I think that the climate and the amount of creatures, kind of makes me wary of going there. But at the same time, it's a beautiful country. There's so much to do and see.
It's a 24-hour flight. So you really have to think like, well, what am I doing this for?
Right.
I think it is a fascinating culture because it's kind of like a mix of the best and the worst of both British culture, from colonization, unfortunately, and also like weirdly American. I feel like there's a lot of parallels between lower middle class culture in Australia and in America, and I would just love to get into it.
Florida, it makes sense.
Anyway, we keep forgetting to intro ourselves. Hi, I'm Seisha, and I'm a too tight silver spandex outfit.
Oh my God. I'm Melanie, and you can't stop progress.
Wait, what does that have to do with Muriel's wedding?
What do you mean? It's on the sign of Porpoise Spit.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Yes. I that. Thank you for that callback. I forgot that. I just thought that you were just saying a random meme or saying, wow, your recall. I was like, are you going to run to be a local politician? Because I would follow that platform.
I don't know. I don't think I have it in me to do anything in the small town that I currently live in, but there are some policy changes I'd be interested in implementing.
See, you know what? If not you, then who?
Right.
I think one thing I got from this movie is that any piece of garbage can run for office, and they do. And
sometimes they win.
And sometimes they win.
Which is wild, but it happens.
It happens all the time. Wow. So I made you watch I should have looked this up beforehand.
What?
1994. 94.
Yes.
The 1994 film, Muriel's Wedding, which was advertised as a comedy. And I remembered it as a comedy. And this is one of the reasons, as we've been having conversations about, well, what did you miss in the 90s?
Yeah.
And what movies meant a lot to me in the 90s that you've never seen. This is one that was like very top of mind for me. I feel like it's also very much a sleeper hit. Like not a lot of people know about it, but it was a big Miramax film, and it was very much sold in America as like, oh, this is a quirky little comedy. And rewatching it, I was like, wow, this has some of the darkest moments I can remember. And I remembered being very upset about them as a teen. I would have watched this when I was like 13 years old.
Yeah, I think I was 1.5, possibly 2.
Right. So you would have missed this. And it's great watching it as an adult, because I remember missing a lot of the things or the subtleties. It's kind of like a subtle script, and it doesn't really spoon feed you everything. Yeah, I could keep going. I have a lot to say about this movie. I would love to hear your general impressions, you as a first-time watcher.
As a first-time watcher, again, based on the reviews of it being like a comedy, I did laugh out loud many times. It was actually quite a funny movie. And it was also very, and you want to say like dark, sad, but it was just like hitting these points in your heart that like you just ached for these characters, I loved it. I really did.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
I think I would watch it again and again. It's kind of a classic. I could see how, because I remember seeing like movies, when we'd stroll through like Blockbuster or something,
Right.
like Muriel's Wedding was one of those movies. Bridget Jones' Diary was one of those movies. Like those are movies that, and I watched that for the first time last year. Too bad we didn't start our pod.
Oh, I will talk about Bridget Jones
Anytime.
anytime. I have a whole history with that movie, especially the first one.
Yeah.
And I've also read the book. And Problematic Fave, I feel. I can't even begin to talk about it. Another movie with a lot of they were trying to convince us that an incredibly hot actress is like dumpy and fat.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean, they do a pretty good job with Toni Collette. Can we just first give a shout out to Toni Collette? Like
Gorge.
One of the greatest actresses of our generation, has gone on to have an incredible career. And this was her start. I think they just kind of picked her out of nowhere, and they do a really good job kind of frumping her up. But you can see her as she evolves through the movie. And I was like, wow, she is just gorgeous.
Yeah. Especially like in that leather outfit, which I know we'll get to fashion later.
Oh,
like,
we're going to have a fashion corner.
Sydney. Oh, that outfit. I was like, this woman she's actually like my dream bod right now. Like I'm looking at her and I'm like, she's beautiful.
Right. And they really try to be like, oh, you're fat, Muriel, or you're, you don't look like this, so you're ugly. And I was like, to who? Like, what are you talking about?
To who?
Yeah, I think let's get into the general vibes of the movie. So again, we're not trying to like necessarily summarize. We know that people who are listening to this have probably also seen it. This is a movie, I guess, just the overview. This is about socially awkward young Muriel Heslop, who is a target of ridicule in her town. She's a devoted ABBA fan, and she just daydreams about having a glamorous wedding that will get her away from her dead-end beach town of Porpoise Spit and her crazy family. And it kind of kicks off from there. So yeah, what just general vibes to start, like what the opening, the setting, like what were you feeling about this?
Well, it's opening with she's at a wedding and she catches the bouquet. And her friends are like, you need to put that down. You're not getting married anytime soon. I mean, like, what kind of friends are these friends, right? But just really rude to her. The shopkeep who accuses her of stealing the dress, which I'm sure she did. Like when you kind of see how the family develops throughout the movie, you go, oh yeah, she definitely stole that dress.
Yeah, I think they establish her right away as like she
is a little less than.
I mean, like just from the get-go that she is a liar, and she, like Muriel as a character, is a compulsive liar. But you feel bad for her anyway, because again, you get a lot of sympathy because you see her social group is these, for lack of a better word, frenemies. I wouldn't even go that far. Like there's no friend part
right
in there at all.
They just are around each other. That's the friend part. That's a peer.
But yeah, this whole beach town setting, I think, was great. And it definitely gives like that summer feel. It's so interesting because I always think about summer towns and beach towns in general, even in America, like people whose most of their industry is based in, it's like they rely on the summer dollars to like push them through the year.
Much like Jaws.
Right, exactly like Jaws, right? So it's interesting. I'm always like, well, what do these people do off season? Or like, what is their life? Like people go to this town to like surf and enjoy,
shop
and hang out. And then, but to the people who live there, it's garbage, right? And this, I'll say this, like watching it now as an older person, I remember like focusing on like the poverty of the Heslop family, which I felt was kind of like relatable. Like they're not like poor, but their house is kind of dumpy. A little bit. They're not like
there's 5 kids.
There's 5. I was like, yeah,
7 people.
There's 5 kids. And then I love that there's like that young blonde girl running around. I'm like, is that their kid or is that just like a neighbor's kid?
Right.
Like, how like they never introduced her. She's not really a part of it. You see her like dancing in the beginning. I'm like, who is this random blonde child who's in here? But it's so funny, like looking at it now, I was like, just like rip out that carpet and put up new paper. And they have like a beach resort house. Like, honestly, it's not that bad.
Organize a little bit, do a little garage sale, and like just get rid of half the junk. And you'd be renting an Airbnb.
It would be incredible. So yeah, at the time I was like, oh yeah, this place is a dump. But now I'm like, hey, I'll take it.
Right.
This was filmed in and around Queensland, which is the northern east coast of Australia, and it's quite far from Sydney.
Well, everything's far from everything in Australia. It's like, it's insane to think about. Like, you would have to fly from Melbourne to Australia, or to Sydney rather, and it would take like 8 hours.
Right. And there is a point where that comes up. So later when Muriel does eventually get married, there's talk about like, oh, we took the bus. Oh, you could take the plane. Right. So a plane trip would probably be like an hour-ish. That'd be a quick up and down. Whereas like to be on the bus for 8 hours, I mean, I guess it would be like, you know, going from Baltimore to New York City or something to that effect. So yeah, so you dug the vibe.
Yeah, like you see how the mean girls are very mean. Immediately, the ones like cheating on the just married spouse named Chuck.
Right. I always thought it was Chuck, and it was just being pronounced in an Australian accent, but it's actually Chuck.
And I think it means chicken, right? Like,
yeah, it means chicken. I was like, why are you marrying a guy who's named after a chicken? That's honestly a red flag.
Such a minor character, but for them to like transition from like this wedding where she's getting accused, rolls up in the police car, and her dad's able to like talk the police out of arresting her. You can tell that he kind of like, well, she takes after her dad in the way, you know, and you kind of like see that more towards the end of the movie. But like he's kind of seems like he's a little bit of a shisty guy.
A little bit. Yeah, no,
yeah, very much so.
I think dad's total piece of shit. Yeah. And that's another thing too, like with the whole, like watching it as an older person with, you know, now we know so much more about mental health and like different learning abilities. Like at the time, it would have been like, oh, these people are just like weird or crazy. But clearly the mom has autism. Like or something or some kind
like
of
manic depressive disorder, you know.
Yeah, no, she's just like out of it. Like she's in her own world, and like probably some of her kids, like the oldest son maybe also takes inherited that. Right. And you can see that. I remember at the time being like, you know, these people are different, but now I'm sure there's actual, like, you can actually diagnose them with something. There's like resources to help people like this. Yeah. A lot of themes of like sort of imitating behavior that she's seen her whole life. Like her first impulse is just to lie. And it doesn't matter. Like when she eventually meets her friend Rhonda, when she goes on Love Island chasing after her friends, right? Like that's what it was, right? They were on Love Island.
Well, they went to the resort town. Was it Hibiscus Island?
Hibiscus Island, which is like, okay, it's a resort next to a resort.
Right.
So just the whole thing of like stealing money so she can go on vacation to like be adjacent to her friends who don't like her is such a bonkers move. And honestly, maybe times in my life, I'm like, maybe I would have done that.
I've definitely seen it happen, you know?
Oh, well, like in your own friend group or?
Well, and just observing many friend groups, you know, those of my friends, cousins, everybody. Cousins, rather.
I want to hear. I think this should be a family drama podcast.
Oh my God.
Just like spill it.
Yeah, I know. As you know, it's just like you have the friend that you always invite for the sake of like they've always been there. But do we really get along with this friend? You know, it's just like for the old time's sake or just tradition. But, you know, they were very, very mean to her. It was like, you know, of course, like they're basing their standings on like, oh, I'm married, so therefore I'm somebody. You know, no one's ever going to marry you, Muriel. You're this, you're that, you look like this, you're fat, you're poor, you don't have a job. Like,
it's very, like I said, I was really struck with like, I was like, oh, I understand why I was so taken with this movie as a teen, because again, a lot of parallels between lower middle class American and Australian culture. And it's actually like there's a word for it in Australian.
Is it bogan?
It's bogan. Thank you. You know the word. And I was like, is this a slur? But I feel like it's like chav, right? It's like saying chav, which is like it depends. You know what that word means, right?
Perhaps, sort of.
Wait,
I don't use it often, so do define.
So a chav is in the UK would be considered somebody who's sort of lower middle class, has a really broad accent. Like the women in particular wear a lot of heavy makeup.
Is that like Geordie?
No, well, Geordie is like
more like Guido.
No, Geordie is like it's a particular accent from the northern part of England, so it's very regional. It's like saying somebody's like Philly. You know, Geordie is like an accent from a specific region. Chav is more like a cultural thing. It's like you're calling somebody white trash.
Okay.
Or somebody who's like, drinking beer and watching soccer games. And it's just sort of like, it's similar.
Hanging out, smoking cigs.
Right. And so like bogan is like a similar term in Australia where it's just like watching.
Knock a couple beers back and watch the rugby.
Drink a couple Fosters and watch rugby on the telly. That's as good as I can do. That's it.
I know there's another word in like Hawaiian culture, which my friend taught me, is moke. And that's like saying like somebody's a little trashy, I guess, just like unmotivated and kind of doing the same thing every day.
So kind of like a stoner, burner.
Sort of, but like also with like the heavy makeup or like too many tats or, just like the sake of like getting things to have them to appear like something to, it's very deep, but it's like,
right. No,
it's around the same thing.
We're here to talk about class and culture, and we're not here to judge anybody, but we're just making these cultural distinctions.
Right.
Because they come up in art, and honestly, who's more white trash than us? That's what I want to know.
Not many.
Not many. Going back to Love Island, she obviously meets her old friend who is played by Rachel Griffiths, who I think is like maybe the best part of this movie.
Yeah.
She's so incredible. Also went on to have not as big a career, but like a very successful acting career after this. I don't know if you ever watched the show 6 Feet Under.
No, I haven't, but mom has.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, she's that's like a great early 2000s, not super uplifting, but great watch. She's great in it. She plays an American. Yeah, and they bond over their mutual love of ABBA. And I mean, I guess we can just get right into that. What did you think of the soundtrack?
Incredible, as I'm also a lover of ABBA. Love, love, love. I was like, when she described it, I was like halfway through the movie, she's like, I would listen to ABBA every single day. And, my life was falling apart. And since I've been hanging out with you, I haven't listened to ABBA once. And I was like, oh my God, sad.
It's really it is a movie about female friendship and finding like love, like real love with your friends, which is incredible. And so like as one of their first like bonding experiences, they enter this talent show on Love Island and they're lip syncing to ABBA. And my main question is, where did they get those shiny jumpsuits on Love Island? I don't understand.
Maybe the gift shop.
But like we've all been to beach gift shops. Like
nobody has LeMay.
Yeah, no, it was LeMay. Where did they come from? There's no Halloween adventure on this island. And like, were these just like lying around in a trunk? And
maybe Muriel had them and she just like treasured them or something and she brought them with her. Or maybe she bought them. She did go shopping with that blank check that her dad wrote.
I guess. I just want to know like where on this resort island could they have acquired 2 shiny silver jumpsuits that work perfectly, and the wigs too? Where did they buy these wigs?
Great wigs.
Great wigs. Yeah,
even
go
the
ahead.
Fruit outfits from the Mean Girls before, they had these full like Carmen Miranda, like full flamenco fruit bikinis. They either had to have packed that. I mean,
I don't know where they got all these outfits. Everyone was decked out for the vacation. So that's a mystery. I'm just going to believe that there's like a mall there that they had to hit up or nearby, like just off the island. I think it's one of the most satisfying scenes in cinema history where she meets Rachel Griffiths and Toni Collette meet each other. They bond. Muriel instantly like spills the beans about the infidelity at the wedding. She like, right after like reconnecting with each other, they immediately go tell off the Mean Girls and then do the ABBA number. And I think it's a slam dunk.
It's a slam dunk. Absolutely. Because she's like, she really is appeasing them in the beginning, being like, oh, I can have a drink with you guys. Yeah, that would be so great. And then, oh yeah, by the way, she slept with Chuck, and Muriel told me that she saw them at the wedding, and blah blah blah. And then it's just like guilt, red face, everything, shock, and then it ensues into the fighting scene, which is so funny. These girls are just going at it, and everyone just steps aside and continues to watch the Waterloo performance because it's so good.
I feel like this must happen a lot at the bar. Women just frequently getting into fist fights because everyone's very nonchalant about it.
Yeah, they're like, well, just let them do it.
Yeah, I love the little details, like especially when Muriel gets back from vacation and she's so fucking sunburnt. Just like walking into that, just little stuff like that. Like they just nail it in terms of like, oh yeah, this would have happened, right? Also, just like the fact that she took money, like Deidre, who is the dad's mistress or whatever.
Yeah.
She's essentially running an MLM. So that's like something that I was like, why would she have like, what kind of business would like give you a blank check to like, why would you have to buy materials to sell things? I didn't understand that as a teen. Like, even though we grew up with like Avon and Mary Kay and stuff like that.
Arbonne and all that bullshit.
I didn't understand how it worked. So now like watching it this time in my life, I'm like, oh, Deidre was totally running an MLM, and honestly, she deserves to get ripped off.
Yeah.
I was like, good on Muriel. She's not a villain.
No.
Yeah, like, and then I guess from there she just goes right to, she can't come home anymore. So she's like, peace out. I'm going to Sydney. The city of brides.
The city of brides is crazy.
Which is like, is that a thing? I didn't research it. I should have.
I think it's just for the movie.
I can look it up, but yeah, I don't know. Like, is it like a destination?
I don't think, maybe it would be a destination for me if I was married to an Australian.
Sure. Okay. According to the internet, it is not known as the City of Brides. It is commonly referred to as the Emerald City.
Oh.
Don't know why.
Okay.
Or the Harbor City. It does have a thriving bridal industry with many boutiques and designers. I also want to say it's crazy. Everyone's giving Muriel such a hard time for not being married and being a quote unquote failure when she's 20 years old.
Yeah, she's 22.
22 years old. Like,
I'm like, when I'm watching this, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's probably like 28. She's probably this or that, No, she's 22. I'm like, I couldn't imagine getting married at 22.
Right. Because everybody back then, we all looked so much older. Like skincare was not, it's not what it is right now. So yeah, like you would have been 20, like looking like a 35-year-old. They did not. You just, all you had was the St. Ives scrubby for your face.
That's it. Just like ripping micro tears into your skin.
That's it. That's the secret, I think. So yeah, we finally get to Sydney and it's just like a big tonal shift.
And yeah, it feels like any like major kind of like city. It almost feels like, because she's working at a movie store, to me, it makes me feel like Seattle, because it's like, where could you make money to like survive while working at a video store? But I guess it was a different time, obviously.
In the 90s,
you could.
How about this? Like back in the 80s and 90s, like a dad could have a whole secret family and pay for everybody on one job. Think about that.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
That ship has sailed.
That ship has long sailed, unfortunately.
Now we all have to be polyamorous just to afford life. And
Yeah.
that's why everybody feels pressured. It's like, I just need like 4 roommates
Right.
to share the rent with.
4 roommates to share 1 bedroom.
That's it. We can't afford more than 2. Yeah, I definitely that's a really good insight. I definitely got a Seattle vibe too. I absolutely love the video store where she works and the vibe of it, and just the nostalgia of like, I was like, what a cool job. Like, I'm just going to sit here
and watch movies all day and like sign people up for the movie lovers club.
What a chill job.
Yeah.
I loved it.
If she can afford, I think did they have 2 bedrooms or just a 1 bedroom? Her and Rhonda.
I think it was just the 1 bedroom because the one scene where Rhonda's banging the 2 American guys, they just sit in the living room. I feel like if they had 2 bedrooms, they would have
went in there.
Went in there. But the guy who likes her, I don't even know if we learn his name, but I was like, he's not so bad looking.
No.
He's all right.
No. He looks like Michael Bublé.
It's like that whole scene when they're like at the club and then have to go back. It's such like a weird sort of like fever dream of like a first date. And I remember, and this is another thing I remember too, like watching it as a young teen when he like unzips the beanbag instead of her tight leather pants. I was like, wait, what happened? And I remember having to like go back. I was like, why is this happening right now? And then that whole scene, like when there's all this chaos and then Rhonda collapses and then it ends up like, and I have cancer. The end.
Yeah, wow. What a dark turn that took for her.
Yeah. And I usually hate, I hate this kind of subplot too, where it's like we have a really bold female character and then we kind of have to bring her low or like not make her so powerful. But I realized why they did that. Yeah. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I feel like in order to make Muriel have to go through this hero's journey and rise above, she needed to care about somebody other than herself. And even when like Rhonda in the beginning, she was very much sort of like a puppy dog, sort of like following, the bold friend like a puppy dog, which we know from other works of media. Specifically the anime Nana, we can just say it.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very much that kind of friendship. So I feel like in order for Muriel to like come into her own, it's like, oh, let me take care of my friend. I can be strong too. So I don't know. I'd love your thoughts on that.
Well, I loved like Rhonda from the get-go. Again, one of the best characters of the entire movie, if not the best. And, she's kind of giving this like very openly engaging in like sex and being a little more promiscuous, but also just being really strong. Definitely a great friend for Muriel to have because like she's very closeted. They're obviously both from Porpoise Spit, so it's like you can see how like somebody's trajectory can change based on just like a few quick decisions. But yeah, so she in that scene in particular, having too much fun with the guy, the American, I think they're sailors.
Yeah, they're sailors.
Yeah, and I just love that Muriel is very like, she's like respectful, but like just pretending that nothing's going on as like everyone's crashing into the walls and laughing and having a threesome, right? But I think having her go through this like cancer journey and like having to take her down a peg, like it kind of, to me, is when like the movie started getting really sad. I was like, no, like please don't. But she kind of is there to, I think, show resilience because once a reformed party girl, I mean, she can still party. She's just in a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't really stop you. She's very like open to being herself and even making jokes with the doctor when he was explaining that she had cancer. She's like, is it from having too much sex? It's this tumor on my spine from too much sex. And
they do a really good job, I think, or she does just a really good job of not portraying this character as somebody who's pathetic.
Right.
And
I mean, you can see her at her lowest point and we all have them, right? But it doesn't necessarily define her going through it. Like she isn't like completely left in the corner, especially at the end,
Right. And I feel like, yeah, like to dial it back to like where she gets that diagnosis, and then it's like I'm trying to think of like where it really turns with Muriel, because they were like together as roommates, everything was going well.
Well, she starts going to the
sick.
wedding shops and taking photos of herself. Muriel starts like doing this like secret wedding thing.
Right.
But
yeah,
she
yeah,
also
yeah.
told her that she was married to Tim Sims.
Right. Yes, yes, yes. That's right. So like she's been lying the whole time, and then the lies just keep piling up. Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna have to talk about the fashion. Like we can't not talk about
I'm
these
ready.
huge, huge wedding dresses in this movie. How big wedding gowns were in the 90s, and the veils. Like, what did you think of the bridal fashion?
Incredible. And also because it's like I think she was, I forget when did Princess Diana become Princess Diana? When did she get married? Was that like 80?
I'm gonna say 85.
84,
Again,
85?
I can just look this up.
Yeah, look it up because she's watching that in the video store that
Right,
she's working at.
replaying it like over and over. And I think as somebody who didn't grow up in that time, you don't really fully understand what a huge cultural moment that was. They were like, you know, the Kanye and Kim of their generation.
I did watch William and Kate's wedding procession in my dorm room on East 12th Street.
Oh, wow. Okay. So Charles and Diana got married in 81.
81. Okay.
Yeah.
So like I think that she is really going for these like large ball gowns, like because this is still a part of like the 90s, like you like to say the 90s that were still the 80s, right? So it's like these extravagant tulle ruffles, draping, crystals, long sleeve mostly, you know, these huge ball gowns that are just almost they might be making a comeback, honestly, like the way that conservatism is coming through in this country. We might be going to like just full high neck long sleeve.
Yeah, but the tariffs, you know, with the fabric,
it's expensive.
Like it's so expensive. Yeah, she tries on some crazy gowns, and then you know
is giving all of these like lies to the sales women in these bridal shops saying like, oh, my mom's in a coma, or my sister's in a coma, my mom's in the hospital. And so they're like taking these beautiful photos for her so that she could show her family members, because she's, you know, she's going to be getting married in spring, which is September in Australia. And so she wanted to, you know, get a bunch of looks done. So she's hit up almost every single bridal shop in Sydney, taking these photos. And that's when Rhonda, she stumbles when she's going through to, she gets invited out to go to like her therapy and whatever service they have in Australia where somebody comes and picks you up and takes you to therapy. It's very nice. So she was like rolling through, gotta grab a pack of smokes, which like maybe don't smoke if you have cancer. Just a thought.
I don't know. She's like, I already have it. Who cares? Yeah. You know, might as well smoke them if you got them.
Just get it all in there.
Just get it all in there. Yeah. And then like, my question is like, was Muriel was she taking these photos to show anybody, or were they just for her, like to hoard and to look at and to fantasize with?
I want to say that it's a mix of both. Like she would at least have them to like show to somebody else who's her next victim in a way, like, oh, this was me on my wedding day, but I only have one picture and I'm divorced now, and you know, whatever. Wait, you think my husband died.
Wait, you think this is the pictures were for like a larger, more sinister plot that was never presented? Like
not necessarily now like you're just murder show.
You're expanding on the Muriel's wedding.
Well, lore. she had to stop at some point, you know, and get after she got caught, after she kind of like lost everything. I think it was her mom passing, which really made her decide to like come clean, you know, and losing her friend and Rhonda, because Rhonda's like, she had to explain to her, you know, there was never a Tim, I lied. There's no police officer who's gonna come kill me and my new significant other. And you just have to give up the ghost at some point, you know? But I was thinking like with these photos, like she could have them to like if she ever had to return home for something, oh, I can show a photo, or like, this is me. She just wanted to feel beautiful. And I think we've even discussed for fun, like in the past, like how fun would it be to just go like try on bridal gowns just to see, what silhouette fits you best, what do you like,
Right. Yeah.
have the service of the salon atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm going to say I don't even think that she was going to show them to anybody. I think like getting married was like her own private fantasy, or it was
Yeah.
like the thing, it was like giving her that dopamine hit, right? Because they didn't have internet back then. Well, they did, but it wasn't like it is now. So just like, oh yeah, like the next, going into like the compulsive lying and the sort of scammer element of it, which is a huge theme in this. It's like it's almost like the scam itself becomes the thrill. Like once you've like deceived one person at one lady at a bridal shop, you're like, can I pull this off again?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to make up a different story this time. It's like how people like rip off and scam people in relationships all the time. They're just like they become addicted to the lie, and it gives them that thrill, like, ooh, yeah, I got away with it.
Right. Let me do it again.
Let me do it again.
Let's plan the next thing and see what we can do under the radar. And
yeah, I think it was more
okay. Maybe she wasn't going to murder somebody,
or like even show her family. I feel like she was really distancing herself from her family, even though I was surprised. Like, yeah, there was that one part in the middle, like after the cancer diagnosis, her dad was on TV being like, Muriel, like we don't care about the money. Like,
no, it was before. It was before. So she was hooking up with the guy that she met at the video store.
Right.
Unzipping. Oh, we have to talk about the fashion still. I mean, we touched on it, but I want to talk about that outfit that she wore.
Okay, yeah, let's go back to that outfit.
She's like wearing this like leather, I want to say, bodysuit with a zipper in the front, and I want to say 2 zippers at the side, as well as the pants that have zippers on the side, like the front, the back. Like it was just a zipper leather sexy outfit, and I loved it so much. It looked so great on her, and I was like, girl, you better work.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a bodysuit. Was it a bodysuit, or was it leather pants and a bodice, like a corset top?
I thought it was tucked in. It
was confusing to me.
Yeah, I could see how he would unzip the beanbag. But like, so that's when they were doing that just before she had fell and said, I can't move my legs. The dad was on TV. She's flipping the channels, and it's like, oh, Muriel, come home. And she had changed her name, which I find is so funny, to Muriel.
Right. I'm like, that sounds worse. Like Muriel is clearly a better name. Not to like bag on any Mariels who might be listening, but yeah, I was surprised that she met with the dad after all of that, and basically just so he could try to get her into coming home again. I was like, yo, fuck this guy.
He just wanted that money.
He wanted
to give her the shame.
He wanted the money, but he also wanted her to move back home because he didn't want that guilt of like leaving his family to run off with Deidre, who's out here running her multi-level marketing scam. So they're both scam. This is a movie at its heart. It is about scam artists. Yeah, we can start to like, talk more about costumes, before we get like towards the end, or like any important themes that we enjoyed. So of course, the bridal stuff, that hot leather outfit. The one thing I want to say is this movie is so colorful and so bright and so vibrant. And I was like, wow, I miss movies that were like on film that had color in them, because everything now is so muted and so dark. And I was like, I was thinking, if Melanie doesn't enjoy this movie or thinks it's stupid, I think she'll still enjoy the fashion.
Yeah. No, I loved the movie. I thought it was wonderful. But like the girl, it's funny because you can see like the preppy girls, the mean girls, they have like their denim shorts, very like mom jeans style shorts. Ones with the hair tossed to the side. The hair is incredible in this movie. Everybody's got such defining styles, especially Rhonda, because she's kind of like tomboy-ish in a way.
Right.
She thinks more like a man, especially in that time, because she's open about sex. She smokes. She kind of swears like a sailor. She's not afraid to like confront people or tell people what she wants out of life. And Muriel is kind of muted, but she's got like the a good. I was looking to get that kind of a short haircut as well, just because it's summer, it's hot.
Oh, you mean like her Sydney haircut when she moves out? Yeah, the long bob. It's great. It's a classic cut. I feel like she has like some flashy outfits too. I think the first thing that we see Muriel in is a leopard, that little leopard number that she stole. So that was incredible. All the bridesmaid dresses, in terms of the friend group, I feel like any of those girls would be fashion icons in Bushwick today. I see them walking all over Flushing Ave these days.
Even tape some plastic fruit on yourself. I think that's might be the next new thing.
Yeah. No, like maximalism, bright colors, high waists, fluffy hair. Just everything was feathered. So over the top. Yeah, big feathered, frosted lipstick. A lot of frosted lipstick and
bronzer.
Yeah, they do it all. It's very like, I think it's funny too how like with beach towns, going back to like the setting and the vibe, like beach towns everywhere are kind of the same, whether they're in Australia, they're on the coast of England, they're on the east coast of America. There's just like, there's commonalities. I was like, oh, right, because it's hot. So you're not going to do a lot of super high fashion.
No,
or
easy
wear
breezy.
Easy breezy, beautiful, right? You need some linen shorts and like a puka shell necklace, and you're
the puka shells.
You're good to go. Were there any other outfits or
I want to talk
things
about the difference between Deirdre and the mom, who I forget what her name is, mom's name.
Oh, so bad. Yeah, you can't even remember her name.
Right. And that's the tragedy of it,
That's the whole point. I think her name is Betty.
Maybe Betty.
Something like that. I can look it up, but I want to say the mom for me, it hits very close to home. And she is one of the most tragic figures in modern cinema, in my opinion. It's like heartbreaking.
Oh, so heartbreaking. Like even at the funeral at the end, which obviously spoiler, not spoiler, you had to have watched this movie to be listening to this, right?
The mom dies.
Mom dies. And, in her eulogy, like it's written that like one of the best days she's had was going to Muriel's wedding.
Oh.
And like the mom, like the dad didn't even buy her a plane ticket. She had to take a bus and take a cab to get there. She ends up coming in just as the wedding's ending and is in the back row with a present. Her daughter doesn't even stop and look at her.
And
she goes, "This is the best day of my life."
Thinking about it now, I get emotional. Actress, the character's name is Betty. It's Betty Heslop. The actress's name is Jeannie Drynan is her name. I guess she's, a character actress in Australia, and she's incredible. Like, just like the work she does on her face, like the face acting and the emotion behind the eyes, and just like,
she's really believable.
She's I'm like, she is that character. I mean, everybody is so good, but she's just heartbreaking because it's like, what happens to somebody who, she's like the cautionary tale, right? Like she married somebody. It's really a cautionary tale against marriage in general for like a film that has wedding in the title. It doesn't really sell it that well. And I think that's kind of the point too. But yeah, like giving up your whole identity for your family and your husband. And where does that leave you? For some guy who would drop you in 5 seconds.
Right.
And disrespect you, like, girl.
Very tragic. Yeah, that's really upsetting, actually.
And think of like how many women have lived that life and we've forgotten about them because they were just put here to like breed out some kids and get tossed to the side.
Yeah, and of course, like the words that the dad uses to describe all of his children are lazy, good for nothing, and that's what they all end up turning out to be for the most part until Muriel decides to make a change. But it's like, I'm glad she stole your money. Okay. She should have stole all that money.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's the thing. The more you go into the movie, you're like, yeah, it's one of those movies you're like, good for her.
Yeah.
And you see like, yeah, these dark themes, man, of just like the continuing the cycles of abuse and seeing how like the mom acts out on the kids when she gets really mad. And I was like, oh my God, like this is deep
burns
stuff.
The lawn because she's tired of waiting for someone to mow it.
Oh, so I feel that. Yeah. Like all she wanted was some help in the house. But you wanted to talk about the difference, not about the deep trauma. No, you wanted to talk about the difference between the mom and Deirdre.
Fashion wise, it's like you can tell that Deirdre is somebody who loves to dress affluent. She wants to present a way when really she's just doing her MLM, so she's looking more glamorous than she needs to be. And it's obviously so funny. Like every time that they're at the Chinese restaurant, she shows up. Oh, here's Deirdre. Oh, but you look at that,
Oh, there she is again. Yeah, so funny. And yeah, it's like there's so much like deep class stuff talking about like people who want to like rise above their station and people who are just sort of fine being what they are, or like the sort of pressure, I think, in middle class society to like rise above, and like what do you have to do to rise above? And it's funny like how we always make like women the villain, but like they're just doing their best. Like Muriel's just doing her best. And then also too, like bringing that whole thing of like how marriage is a scam in a lot of ways. Talking about how like, yeah, the only way she can really elevate her station in the eyes of her friends and her family is to get married. It doesn't matter if she loves this guy, which is like what she ends up doing, marrying some guy. It's a green card marriage.
Yeah, I'd absolutely green card marriage that right this second. That man was hot.
It's like, I could not wait to hear your feedback on this South African swimmer guy.
I know he's obviously like mentally not all there in the beginning, but really charmed me at the end. And man, was he hot. Very, very good looking. But it's funny because it's like the guy that she met in the video store, it's like he wasn't even that bad. He attends the wedding,
Right. And he's so sad, and then we never see him again.
Never see him again. That's another tragedy.
Yeah, another
the
tragedy.
Male loneliness epidemic.
That's it. It's all women's fault, apparently.
Yeah. But yeah, the swimmer is hilarious. Like, I love that the coach is like, okay, you only have to stay married this long, but she will have to live with you. We're going to pay her 10 grand, which is a good amount of money.
A lot of money. I'll take that right now.
Yeah. And he's like, okay. After they get married, he's like showing her the apartment that his parents pay for. And he's like, yeah, my room's over here and your room's over here. I'm like, honestly, dream.
Yeah, like what she's just. The only part I had a problem when he was showing her the apartment is the part where he points to the gym room and he's like, "Don't touch the weights," and I'd be like, "I can work out here too."
Yeah, he's like, "You can use the treadmill, but just don't touch the weights."
Yeah, like, I'd be like, "We're gonna have a real problem with that."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe he's just worried about property damage.
Maybe, or just like, I don't know. I think it was just him like asserting boundaries with her, because clearly he did not like her in the beginning. And then they do this. This is a very common trope as somebody who reads a lot of romance. They do the fake married thing. The fake married thing is very, very common. You'll get married for whatever reason, and then you end up actually falling in love.
Yeah, I was like, my eyes were watering, obviously, because the mom had died, and that's some trauma I'm not ready to like experience at this time.
Right.
But it's just like, I'm like, she's crying, and he holds her face, and he comes, and then I'm just like, oh, I'm surprised she didn't stay with him. But whatever, she had to live honestly, and I get that.
She had to live honestly, and I think it was enough. It was good for her self-esteem to have somebody fall for her and she doesn't care for them.
Right.
Because obviously, like, you would think it would be, well,
Yeah.
it kind of happened in reverse. Like, I don't know if she like fell for him, but she really wanted to be with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Because, he's hot, and her friends would probably, or her non-friends, that she went and had them as her bridesmaids anyway, which I was like, girl.
yeah, that's I mean, one of those things which I'm sure that's happened in many friend groups, but that would be just something where I would like be.
You just invite them and you seat them at the back.
Exactly. See,
hire new friends.
We think the same. Yeah, I'm like, let's get some supermodels in here.
Right. You're not going to be rewarded for your behavior.
Yeah, exactly. I want to say that Muriel's actual wedding dress for the actual wedding is stunning.
Yes.
And the tiara, such a serve.
Very ethereal.
And if I were to do like a traditional wedding kind of thing, I think, yeah, like, and really like go for it, like spend the big bucks. I'm like, yeah, tiara. You gotta do the tiara.
I want almost like a sun looking piece on my head. And then just like, I love the sleeves, honestly. I think it looked great. And I was surprised to see like all of this like Catholic. I'm not sure if they identify as like a lot of like Catholics in Australia or like more Christians, but they had a Catholic ceremony.
Definitely Christian. I don't know what the Catholic deal is. As somebody who went to Catholic school, I should really know more about the Catholic population of Australia. I'll just look that up right now. This is the pod where we're doing our research on the fly.
We have to.
You got it. It's spontaneous, Yeah. Anything else about the wedding itself, or fashion, or just like fashion moments or aesthetic moments you really loved about this movie that we haven't covered yet?
I feel like we covered most of them. There was so much, so layered. I want to even touch on like the family in the beginning too, like a lot of hand-me-downs, stained clothes. Like I didn't really catch, like I would have to do it upon rewatch, but like see if like siblings exchanged clothes, like they all shared things with and like for each other. But they did a great job of defining class differences with the clothing.
Yeah, no, whoever was on costuming for this movie and just the production design and
an award.
Whatever an Australian Oscar is. Okay, I just found out the Catholic population of Australia is 5.1 million, which is 20% of the population. Whoa. Okay. It's not a very populous country now, is it? It's really big, but there's not a lot of people in it.
Well, not necessarily, but it's like everybody's more coastal, except for like Aboriginal population. What's the biggest religion in Australia? I'm assuming Christianity.
I'm gonna say Protestant. I don't know. When another romance that was set in Australia that we can also cover on this pod was a novel turned into a miniseries called The Thornbirds. Are you familiar with this?
I'm not.
Oh, Melanie. We are gonna it's a miniseries. It's not a film.
Okay.
So
what year did it come out?
So the miniseries came out, I want to say the late 80s, and I believe Thornbirds, the novel, which is like a 700-page novel, which it is about a family of sheep herders in Australia, and there's a connection to a priest. It's about a priest who falls in love with the youngest daughter, and it was very scandalo back in the day. And then they did a miniseries with Rachel Ward and Richard Chamberlain, who played the priest. I don't know if you know him as an actor. Anyway, all you have to do is go to our mother and say the Thornbirds. Tell me about the Thornbirds, and she will start popping off some quotes,
some facts,
some facts that would make you blush. Barbara Stanwyck's in it. It's incredible. We could, yeah. I just wanted to make that link because it's also, that's like, as a child, that was like one of my main connections to Australian culture. I'm like, oh, everyone has a huge sheep ranch, right? They're living out on the outback. And there's a community priest who goes around. And if you're a 13-year-old girl, he might just have the hots for you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. There's some stuff where it's like, again, as an adult, you read it, you're like, wow, this is some grooming shit and I'm not here for it. But reading as a teen, you're like, wow, it's so romantic. The parish priest,
yeah.
oh, he picked me, la la la.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And not great.
Jeez.
But that's growth.
It is. I was gonna say, I feel like there was such like a big connection like between the US and Australia like in the 90s, I guess because of like Steve Irwin, Crocodile Dundee. Like there was like this fascination, like Outback Steakhouse, you know, or one of our most known chains.
Absolutely. I mean, like that was even like Crocodile Dundee was solidly 80s.
Yeah.
And then Rescuers Down Under. There were a lot of movies that were exported or like sold to Americans. I don't know. Do you remember the movie Young Einstein?
No.
It is one of the worst movies. We will not be covering it on this pod.
Okay.
But there was an Australian comedian called Yahoo Serious. That's not a joke. That was his name. Mm-hmm. And he was just like in things. And it was sold as like a screwball kind of comedy in America. There's so many. Of course, Mad Max, all the Mad Max movies. That was like an example of Australian culture. And yeah, I feel like everything was like, it was always like a crazy fish out of water story. Like, here's a crazy Australian who's like doing stuff in New York, or we're Americans and we go to Australia and it's crazy, you know? So it's more about the culture shock of like people from the inside or outside. Like, watch, we're going to get a lot of upset Australian comments on this.
I love you guys, honestly, please.
She's like,
let me rephrase by saying that I do love you, Australia and Australians. It's just that I don't know if I can handle, and I know it's not everywhere, but like the big spider in the toilet, like that's just not for me. I can't, I'm not good with bugs as it is.
Just to be clear, listeners, if you are Australian and male,
everything wants to kill you there. I will say that.
No, I was going to make a pitch for you. I was going to say...
Oh, yes. Okay.
I was going to say if you are gainfully employed and a male, like roughly between like 30 and 50 years of age. I don't know.
I would say 25 to 40.
Okay. She's going to rob the cradle.
Yeah. That's not robbing. They're old enough.
Melanie is looking for a green card marriage.
Yes.
Much like Muriel in the movie.
But in reverse, yeah.
But in reverse, please submit your applications to me through the pod, and I will go through the first round.
Awesome.
And then I will submit.
We can vet them.
Yeah, you gotta be vetted. We can vet
them live on the pod.
Yeah. Any like closing thoughts on this great film? I'm honestly so stoked that you liked it. I
loved it.
Half of me, I was like, oh, I hope she likes this because it's such a niche film. Mm-hmm. And I know we share a lot of, I mean, obviously we're, 11 years apart and I feel like our tastes differ on some things, but I was just like, there's just something about this movie that's very like relatable and almost like healing. And I was like, I hope you get that part of it.
Yes, it's very healing. Like it's kind of why I recommended you to watch Nana is because it's something that if I had watched it sooner, maybe I would have made different choices in my life, and maybe wouldn't have. And I granted, I'm no Muriel by all means. I'm not prioritizing marriage except for, our Australians who will be applying. But I'm just saying that I never was like the girl who was like, let me fantasize about this wedding or like, what am I going to do for, it's kind of like something that I've as of late have looked at on Pinterest just for the fun of it.
Sure.
But, watching her make all these decisions to try to impress people, it really like makes you sit there and think, what choices have I made where I was trying to impress people? And what did I do for me that I genuinely liked? And, how do I make more of those decisions? So, but then like also the trap of marriage, the scam of like believing men, it's like assuming that like
off, sister,
assuming that this man is supposed to protect you and your family that you created with him is something where you should be more vetting more vetting is
more
necessary.
vetting. You're right. Like, and you need a good friend. Like maybe the mom
if
in
she had
Mira's
some
wedding,
friends,
she needed a gay friend to be like, sister,
mama,
mama, let me tell you what.
yeah,
that guy's dusty.
that man is disgusting, and we must clean house.
Right. Yeah.
These kids are gonna get working. Like they needed like if she had a sister even, or just like any established friendship, I guarantee she wouldn't have been in the position that she was in this film. And I think, again, other overlying theme is that friendship is beautiful and necessary and best when watered by two interested parties, not fake friends that like you have to appease all the time,
right?
And like try to insert yourself into their life, even though they clearly do not want you there,
right? Right.
You want to have friends that are, both interested in doing cool stuff, like, they want to live in her and Rhonda, Muriel and Rhonda go back to Sydney at the end, start over, fresh start. Love that.
Yeah, I think it's important to have friends that are interested in you and like delighted by you, not just like you, but just sort of like, oh, wow, I would love to like hear what they have to say about it. Going back to when Rhonda and Muriel meet on the island and they're like drunk after they've done the talent show. And Rhonda's asking all these questions, and you can see Muriel kind of like scrambling to have answers because no one's ever asked her anything about herself. So her first impulse is to lie. And like at the end, when it's such a great character arc. She goes from being a compulsive liar and like repeating these toxic patterns that she's learned from her parents into being somebody who is honest. And at the end, she's just like, yep, I'm going back. I already bought you a plane ticket. Let's go. Let's get out of here. And she goes like probably half expecting to be rejected. And then you get a happy ending. And I think the payoff, like with everything that's happened, I think the payoff is really earned.
Yeah.
At the end, like you feel like they've both really been through it. So it's not just like, la, 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 nothing bad really happened to us. It's like, no, like a lot of bad stuff happened. So the payoff is very satisfying and
such
kind
a
of
perfect
bittersweet.
Ending. Yeah, it's almost like The Sopranos,
Yeah, and you're just like, we don't know what happens to them, but we kind of don't need to. Like, there's no need for a sequel, although that would be fun, but we don't need to see, like, she's completed her character arc. She's going to go on and have a good life, or at least have a life, good or not. She's going to have...
That's hers, rightfully so.
Right, and I just love the ending, to like touching on the ending. These little acting moments in it are so good. The mom of Rhonda, who is babying Rhonda in the middle part of the movie, like trying to push her around. You can tell like Rhonda hates living with her mom because she's treated like a kid. Like, of course, you move back home, you instantly turn into a child. You're just going to start acting like a child. Instantly. Relatable, right? And then at the end, when Muriel's trying to steal her away, the mom is in a huff and she's like, how dare you come into my home and try to steal my daughter away.
Right.
And then when Rhonda pieces out, there's this moment when the mom is looking at the car and she's just like kind of smiling, like, yeah,
she's accepting.
Go do. Yeah. It's just like it takes place in like less than 5 minutes. I'm like, wow, today's movies could never.
Right.
There's like, she goes through the whole range of emotions. Like, I want to take care of my daughter.
She has friends here who love her.
Right.
And then her out of this zone of comfort I've created for her. And then she goes, you know what, little bird, you gotta fly. You gotta fly. You gotta get out of here. Yeah, it's great. It's a great movie. It's fun to revisit it. Glad you loved it. That's check for me. The gold star for me. 2 thumbs up.
We're gonna have to, like, I've got my mind is boiling and bubbling, and I'm like, what other Australian movies should we do? Should we watch all of the Thornbirds? I mean, we could do a special, perhaps. I feel like we have to do a tangent of like, what stuff was I watching as a child that I should not have watched because it was too adult for me, but it was the 80s and children were sort of
Free.
left to be free and watch whatever. Yeah, The Thornbirds, I'm sorry. The Thornbirds was a miniseries in 1983.
Oh shit.
So again, like super, super early. Yeah, when we'll have to get into it. We'll be back with more wonderful nostalgic picks.
Yeah, and it might not be the series at this second, but we will definitely get into it at some point. How long is the series? Is it like 12 episodes or something? Or like
I just looked up the Wikipedia. It is a total of 467 minutes. I don't know how many episodes.
10 episodes or something, depending on how long they are.
I won a lot of awards. It's the book was very much like the books that we like, a bodice ripper. It's one of those. It's definitely like, I have to show you. I don't think you can see, but like the cover of the VHS, it's just like the priest holding the girl in his arms. It's very sensual. All right. So
we'll be back next week with our next pick. We don't know what it is.
We don't know. You'll know. You'll know when you know, and it's going to be good. So we'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of VHS Sisters. We hope you've had a fun and cozy time. Please consider liking, leaving a review, and following us on your podcast platform of choice. If you'd like to chat with us, please email us at VHSsisterspodcast@gmail.com. Love you. Bye.